Welcome to episode 4 of Moms with Moms.
Moms offering mom support with moms on microphones.
Thank you so much for coming back if you're joining again, and if you're new here, we're really excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Today, we were kind of struggling to figure out what we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
We're both feeling a little bit run down and just tired, really. And that's kind of when it hit us, like that's exactly what we wanted to talk about.
I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the mental load it takes to be a mom, whether you're a working mom, a stay-at-home mom, an adoptive mom. Nobody ever really talks about how much it takes to actually be a mom mentally.
And I want to preface this by saying, yes, being a dad is difficult too. And maybe eventually we can get some dads on here to talk about that. But today we're really going to kind of stay on the mom side because that's what we know. That's what we're struggling and dealing with. And yeah, just a little vent session a little bit too.
Which is perfect because I woke up today. It was actually really nice. I put my son on a couch. I have a pull-out, like, cute little chair couch that Jordan gave Bino, and we have not transitioned him into a toddler bed yet. He's still in the crib. But every night we snuggle on this little mini couch, and he asked last night to sleep on the couch. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. He slept on that couch until 9 a.m. this morning, and it was phenomenal. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I'm not tired. I've been tired all day, and I got, like, 9.5 hours of sleep because I went to bed at, like, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I feel like this sleep doesn't even really matter. I mean,
No.
Jax is up, as you know, at 6 a.m. every morning pretty much on the dot. He's normally the first one in the house up, and therefore we have to get up.
Yeah.
And even on nights where I do get a good night's rest, I still feel drained.
This whole week I felt exhausted.
Right. Yeah. And something that, like, we had talked about is, you're okay.
I'm kicking you.
We felt drained when we were home with the boys full time. Because before we got the roles that we were in, we really were home with the boys a lot. My first whole year and a half of Jax's life, I was home with him. And the days that I did have internship or work, you were with him. Then we swapped. So, like, the other days I would have Savino. So we talked about how draining that was. And then now we're both back to work full time. And I think the first couple of weeks we're like, wow, this is great. It's time for ourselves. But now we're kind of settling into routine. And this is feeling pretty tiring too.
It was really funny because I worked overnights all last year. I was doing overnights and, like, random shifts. I was all over the place, and I was exhausted all of the time. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't wait to get this new job. I'll have a Monday through Friday, 7:45 to 3. This will be perfect. And I still stayed with private practice because I'm like, I can do this. I'm more tired now than I was when I was doing the overnights. And I don't know if it's because, like, with our jobs, right? We work with teenagers, and you become a safe space for teenagers. I have kids in my office all day long. From the time I walk in, I have kids who meet me in my office in the morning, sit with me until they go to their, like, first period class. I now don't take lunches. They come and I say, I have to eat lunch today. They're like, oh, we'll eat with you. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's just like,
I give you
okay.
credit for that.
Well, there were some days where, like, I am like, nope, nobody's eating lunch with me, and I shut the door. They know not to come in when my door is shut. Like, that's a big thing. We've talked about boundaries, but I don't know if it's because we hold space for people, and then I come home and, like, 3 nights a week I do clients. Actually, it's more than that. So Sundays and Mondays right now are the only nights that I typically don't take clients, but every other day I take clients, and I'm just so drained. I'm like, I don't have space for anything.
Right. So I think that's something to mention too. Like, if this is the first time you're listening or even not, we both are in the helping field. So I am a counselor in a school, and Courtney's a social worker in a school.
But I also have a private practice.
Yeah. And so we really are always dealing with mental health issues. Which is great, and I love doing that, and I feel like it actually does energize me.
Yes.
But sometimes I need to go home and remind myself what stays at work, and then when I come home, I need to decompress, because then, again, we have the mental load of being a mom.
Well, and then I think, too, it's hard, right? Like, also, like, with friendships, when someone calls you, you answer. And I know that, like, if I said to you, like, hey, like, I don't have the capacity to talk to you today, you'd let me go. Or if, like, you really need somebody, be like, hey, I need 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes. And obviously we'd be there for each other. But I think that's also something that a lot of people don't talk about, too, is, like, how to maintain communication with everybody.
Right.
Because you have to do it for your kid, you have to do it for your husband, you have to do it for school, you have to do it for work for people who aren't in a school, your
Right.
friends.
And sometimes I just want quiet.
Yes.
Like the other day, I hung out by myself in my closet. And I know that sounds so silly. I remember a few years ago, before I even thought about having Jax,
Yeah.
I watched this video, I don't know if you've ever seen it,
Probably not.
of this mom who was eating Twizzlers
No.
in the pantry with the door shut, and her toddler, she had 2 twins. Their hands were like sneaking underneath, like, Mom, where are you? Mom, what's up? And that's like another thing. Like, I feel like in general, I'm always needed.
Yes.
And it is tiring. I love to be
Yes.
needed, and I love to be helpful and to be there for my son and my sisters and my husband
And your students.
everyone else. Right. But every now and then, I just need a minute of quiet.
Well, and I think that's hard too, is like you don't realize you need it until you need it. Mm-hmm. And then when you need it, you actually really need it
Right.
because you're like, oh my God, I'm like, my cup is overflowing.
Yes.
I think that was the hardest thing when people were like, oh, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can. As a mom, you can. But eventually that cup's going to be so empty that there's not going to be enough to give to somebody else.
Right.
And you need to refill it at some point.
Yeah, and I feel like even when I'm sick, I'm drained, I feel like I'm always showing up, but then it's impacting me in other ways. Like last night, my Aura ring told me that I slept for 3 hours. And I was like, well, I was definitely in bed for longer than 3 hours, but I couldn't sleep. My brain is always going.
Always.
And I don't know if this ever happens for you, but even when I'm not with Jax or the girls, I feel like I'm always thinking about what I need to do next, whether that be with them. I'm a worrying type of person, even though I literally help people with their mental health and I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
I've come a long way in that aspect, but it's still kind of always on my mind. And Josh and I have talked about that a lot. Josh is my husband, if you don't know. He works like a job where he is always lifting and he works construction, so it's hard on his body. So he's tired too. And at first I always thought, like, why am I so tired? I felt bad because he's out in the cold, he's out in the wind, he's lifting heavy things. Why am I exhausted? And then I realized, again, it's that mental piece.
Well, it's also caregiver burnout. We've
Yes.
talked a lot about that, is that load of like you are providing space and you're thinking about everybody else but you.
Right.
And that's a big reason of why I didn't want to be a mom, because I was like, I'm going to put my full force into everything to be like the best parent for my child. And it's interesting that you say, right, like when I became a single mom, I kept thinking, oh my God, the time away from him is going to be so great. Like I can do so much, which it is. But for the first year, when I was feeling really lonely and sad, I'm like, I can't, like I need to do something. I needed to be with people. And I would spend a lot of time with you. And I don't really spend a lot of time by myself even when I don't have Savino, because I don't like it, because I think about those things. I'm like constantly thinking about, what is he doing? Is he okay? And let me just preface this. His dad's not an abusive dad, like anything like that. So I'm not worried about like those things, but it's just always worrying about what's the next thing you got to do.
Yep, exactly. What's next? What do I have to think about?
And
Right.
we're people who like to go. We are not people who like to like sit at home and do nothing. I don't
Nope.
think that exists for us. So when we do those things, there's always the weekend where you're like, I have nothing to do. I got to do something.
I know. That sometimes is hard too.
It's so hard.
I feel like not even our generation, but just life right now, it is hard to be bored.
Yes.
That is something that I know I need to work on,
Yes.
being okay with there not being anything to do. And I try and tell Maya and Michaela, my 2 sisters who live with me, that all the time. It's okay to not always have something to do, but then I can't do it. So here I am trying to tell them, and I'm not being a great example of it.
Well, this morning when we woke up late, I told you I had to go to like Saratoga and stuff like that, and we didn't because the place I needed to get stuff from wasn't open until 5. So I'm like, oh, you know what? We'll just sit down and we'll watch Frozen. We'll have a quiet morning. While Savino was watching Frozen, I was doing our Target order because I have Target Prime, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Target 360.
Circle.
Target Circle, that's what it is. Mental load. So I was like, all right, let me get the groceries taken care of. And then I had to look at my week for clients. So was I sitting relaxing? No, because I was still doing something mentally, preparing, and then thinking about what I needed to do today because I had all these things I needed to do. So even when you have the time to sit, you're not just relaxing.
Right. So let me ask you though, you talk about Target 365 circle. Is that like one of the things that you do that takes something off of your plate?
Yeah.
It's like
So it is probably the best thing I could have ever done. I always thought it was funny that people would do like delivery services and pay the extra for the delivery services. I pay $50 every year for Target Circle, and if you're a teacher, you actually get it for free, which I have to look into. But you get it for free if you're in like the teachers union or whatever. What I do is every Sunday I get it delivered to the house. And it saves me taking Savino to the grocery store with me because I have him every Sunday. So it saves me going to the grocery store, getting what I need to get. It also saves me money because when I go to the grocery store, I actually spend more. Yeah. I don't buy what I need. I buy what I want because I'm like, oh my God, that looks good. And it's $5. Let me get it. So it saves me money in the end. I don't have to worry about it. It gets delivered straight to the house and I put it all away. I don't have to worry about forgetting my bags, going to the store. And it's easier for me to like plan out the meals for the rest of the week. I know it's a habit of like wanting the same thing all the time, which is kind of nice because like I don't have to change things. So he has the same thing for breakfast. He has the same thing for lunch. It's dinners that we do different. Right. And I typically eat leftovers because it's just easy. I don't have to make anything. But it's nice to be able to look at the Target Circle and be like, okay, this is on sale this week. I can make a meal out of this. Yeah. So it really, honestly, I think it's great.
That's awesome. I think, just in general, you talking about like delivery services, I think that every parent, if you can, or you can find a way to do something that takes one thing off of your plate. I always used to think like, are people going to judge me because the one thing I can't stand? Laundry. It's like, yes, I can't do it.
I can't either.
It's not for me. For the longest time, I talked about just bringing it to the wash and fold, and that was the one thing I was going to do for myself, pay for it. Now I'm at a point where my one sister, Maya, is 10, and she heard that I wanted to bring it to the wash and fold, again, to take it off my plate, and so she negotiated with me.
You didn't tell me that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so she said, if I wash and fold your laundry, how much will you give me? And we worked something out, and eventually I'll talk to you a little bit about how my kids pay rent.
Yeah, which I agree they should.
They pay rent. It's a very small amount. Yes. They actually put it in their savings, so they'll get it when they're older, but I wanted them to learn a little bit of a lesson. Mm-hmm. And again, it took a little bit of something off of my plate. Yep. And I think every mom should do that, whether it's something fun for themselves or taking away some sort of chore. Just because technology and stuff nowadays, like we can find something, I'm sure.
I think that's nice to say is like taking things off your plate. I didn't realize how micromanagey I was about things. Mm-hmm. So when I was with Jimmy, I was definitely very crazy about things and I would just do it all. And I think about a lot of it probably had to do with because I was like, well, you didn't do it right. And now with Anthony, I've let a lot of those things go because like if he does the dishes, it doesn't matter if he doesn't put them away. He did the dishes for me. Or like if he put something away in a Tupperware container that I wouldn't have chosen, I let those things go. And it's really funny because like those are big deals to me. Yep. So letting them go is like, wait a minute, like that's annoying. That Tupperware container doesn't go there. Why'd you do that? But it's that mental load of like, now I don't have to worry about that. Right. Now I don't have to do that. Like it didn't go in the right spot, but that's fine. It's away and I don't have to worry about it.
I have also had to get better at saying no to things.
Yes. I'm still hard at that.
Yeah, I still struggle with it too, but I am improving and getting better because I used to say yes to everything. Yes, I'll do this. I'll help you. People know that I cricket, so some people would reach out and ask me to do things for them. And now I just have realized that I can't. Because that's when that burnout really starts to set in. When I'm saying yes to every single person, when I'm already trying to take care of my household and work and friendships. And yeah, sometimes you have to do those things, right? Mm-hmm. But I really am more cautious and like I actually think like, is this something that one, I can do? Yes. And two, is necessary in the moment. Even like going out and doing things with people, obviously that's good for you. And I don't want to be home and not have any social aspects. I don't mind saying no to things nowadays.
I also think talking about that too is like friendships and family is learning really good healthy boundaries has really helped my mental load because I, like you, was very much, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do that. And I've realized that people who I feel like I'm putting more effort into the relationship or I don't feel fulfilled after the relationship, I've learned to not cut them off. I don't cut people off, but I step back. Mm-hmm. And eventually they cut themselves off. Right. But I've learned to like step back a lot. I mean, Jordan's helped me a lot with a lot of that too. Like we talk a lot about like, what would you do in this situation? What does this look like? Because sometimes you just need that other person to be like, well, wait, Because I never want to be an asshole.
Right. And also, like, you and I have talked about it, not just in your relationships romantically, but friendships and family.
Yes.
It is okay if someone's not always like 50-50.
Yes.
But if you're always giving 80 and they're always giving 20, that's something to look at. There will be times, right, where you will need something more from me, and I will do that because I know at a later point you'll give it back. But I have learned over the years that that's not everybody, and it doesn't mean that they're bad people and that we can't be friends at another time, and not even that they're not friends, but in this moment and in this chapter in my life, I'm not able to give you 90% when I always only get 10.
Something we've talked a lot about too is like people don't see the world or react to the world the way that you do, and accepting people for where they're at and you accepting what you want from them and how that looks like.
Right.
The let them theory and radical acceptance is huge in both of our lives. I feel like we've really done a great job since we've met each other about figuring that out. Like you said, they're just not a part of this chapter, and that's okay. It doesn't mean, and I think that's a big thing with maturity, is you don't have to cut everybody off because they are not hitting the point of your life where you want them to. They can still be in your life. You just distance yourself, and if they choose to still be a part of it, they're there. But you don't have to cut somebody off just because they're not at that level of what you'd like them to be.
Right. Yeah. And people change.
Yes.
And people grow at different rates.
Yep.
I've learned that the hard way too.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And, that's okay because you just have to be kind of okay with where you're at and what you're doing. Like, I know at the end of the day, I'm trying my best.
Yes.
And so if that doesn't work for some people, like, I feel bad, but I can't let it get to me because I have other things and other people that need me that give me energy too.
Well, and I think too is like, I know that if you didn't want to hang out for a day and we had plans, I could say, hey, I'm not feeling great and I don't want to do this. I know that you're going to be upset and you'll tell me that you're upset, and that's okay. Right. Like, you're okay to be upset with me, but I'm also okay to be like, I literally don't have the space to do this today. Right. Because that's what it should be. I don't feel like people should force themselves to be in a situation where it's like, I can't do this. I can't handle that today.
Right. And I feel like in general, you and I have other friends like this too. I have a lot of good people out there.
Yes.
Where I can also do things without having to do something.
Yes.
It's just like the presence is nice.
Yes.
It doesn't always have to be something big or planned or expensive. Like, even just being around some people and doing our own thing, like, that's fine. Like, I don't have to get my house ready for you to come.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you were like, hey, I have to clean all day, but yeah, you can come over.
Yep.
Like, I would be like, okay, I'm coming over. Yep. And like, I would choose to clean with her because that's just who I am. But like, that's what I mean is like, I don't have to do those things with you and like other friends. And I think those are the best kind of friends to have, not only in motherhood, but in general.
Yep, I agree. And I know that, we've been talking a lot about like the burnout and the caregiver aspect of it. And we've touched a little bit throughout this conversation on what we do. But is there anything that you do specifically for you that makes you feel better?
I've learned that when my social battery, I've got to get better at this, but when my social battery feels done, I start to get really irritated. It also could be my period, but usually around that time, I'm very irritated. I get pissed off with just simple things, and I'm like, okay, like, I need something to myself. So I actually will turn on the TV, and I'll put something that's binge-worthy that I don't have to, it's mindless. So it's usually like stupid, like Love is Blind, Temptation Island, things that aren't going to overstimulate me. And if I'm not really paying attention, I don't really have to pay attention. And I give myself usually like an hour. Yeah. An hour to sit and do nothing. And I do not scroll. That is a big thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, is you get instant dopamine fixes when you scroll because you're targeting certain things in your brain. So when you're scrolling, you're again not relaxing that brain. I'm not relaxing the brain when I watch Temptation Island and stuff either, but I'm not getting that instant gratification as quickly as scrolling. So
you're not seeing those abs on Temptation Island? I feel like that's my instant gratification.
Oh, maybe it's because I only give myself a certain amount of time, and I don't know. Clearly my brain's completely off when I'm watching them because I don't even remember watching ads.
Well, no, not ads. Abs. The guy's abs.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Again,
this is just a
but again, this is mindless stuff. So like my brain is not processing any of that. Right. So I give myself an hour. But that's all I've been able to do right now. And I'm trying to get better at stuff. There's just a lot going on in my life always, so there isn't a space for me to have that time. What about you? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm not good at like sitting still, as we know.
No.
But I do have a couple things that are kind of mindless tasks. It still is doing something, but it makes me feel better. Like, I like to Cricut, and that's just something I can like go through. It's something that I do with the door closed, so nobody's bothering me. I also like to make my charcuterie boards,
Which are amazing.
I know, they are pretty good.
Are amazing.
I'm getting pretty good at them.
They are.
So just like, I like to do tasks, but by myself. Again, a little time to me. I also take a bath pretty often.
You do.
Yeah, and that's my time where if somebody knows I'm in the bath, I've had to set strict boundaries because people would come in. I'm like, I'm in the bath. Why is my son or my sisters or my husband popping their head in? No, leave me be. So now when I'm in the bath, everybody knows, leave Jordan alone because she deserves some time.
I used to read my smut books. My smut books were huge, but I'm studying for my license exam right now. So when I read, I'm trying to focus it on my license exam. So I don't read right now. But when I'm done with that, praying to the Lord that I pass this stupid test. But when I'm done with that, then I'll probably get back into the smut books. But I need something that doesn't use any brain power.
Right. And we also talked about, like, we were reading that, I think it said like a girls' night every 22 days or something is really good for you. So we get together kind of often.
It's actually funny. Since we've started this podcast, I think I've seen you more than I have in the, 3 years that I've known you.
Oh, you think? Well, for a while we were seeing
regularly.
Yes.
Regularly. And actually hanging out, because we weren't hanging out intentionally. Right. You were picking up your son, or I was picking up Savino.
I was going to say, we were hanging out with the kids, too.
Yeah.
This is us time.
This is us time. I actually already feel better.
Yeah, me too. I'm feeling great. Thanks
just
for
sitting
listening.
here talking. Also, Jordan and I were like, oh, well, we shouldn't really have these because we have nowhere to put them.
I know.
What are you drinking?
I have my tea today.
I have hot chocolate like a child.
You need whipped cream. I feel like that would top it off. I have mini marshmallows. I should have told you.
Marshmallows.
Really? That's right. You're not a marshmallow
person. Just the texture gross. So if you're thinking about your mental load, what it looks like, obviously we both talked about finding something that's your time. Mm-hmm. Even if we talked about this outside of this, you need 5 minutes every day. That's literally all you need is 5 minutes to collect yourself. I always challenge people to give yourself at least 10. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Maybe it's your favorite song. Maybe it's reading 5 minutes of a book.
I love meditation. Not everybody does, though, so don't feel like you have to go all yogi.
I don't. I actually hate meditation. I can't, my brain can't focus. But I do love, I turn on music and I will jam out to my music. Typically it's in the shower, but I'll jam out to something. I would just say in general, find something that works for you. Mm-hmm. Maybe that can be our homework assignment to everyone. Yeah. Try and find something that works for you. Comment if you have anything great that works. Yeah, because that'd be nice if we don't have something or somebody else who's I can't do what you guys do. Give me something else. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. And again, even just having someone to talk to is important. Yes. I feel great now. I do too. I feel so much better. I don't feel tired anymore. No. Is it the hot chocolate maybe? It might be the hot chocolate. Maybe we have to go do something real quick fun after. I feel like we should. Neither one of us have our kids right now. Right. So we are having some time for us, which is nice. Maybe we actually should go do something. Right? Okay. Well, thank you for listening. Yes, thank you for joining. And as always, if you want to join us or you have a topic that you want to share, DM us, comment us. You don't have to come on the show, but any story is welcome, especially if it's something you want us to talk about. Mm-hmm. All right, moms. As always, for surviving and thriving, because that's moms, that's what we do. Bye, besties.